conflicts, yeah, usually the conflicts have always stemmed from understanding why I've been asked to do something. I don't mind doing anything. Like, I don't care if I'm cleaning a toilet, if I'm fixing a car, if I'm teaching a language course, provided that I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Learn English with Teachify. Yoo-hoo! I'm feeling pretty good today. Will, how are you?
I'm a little bit tired, to be honest. I woke up a little bit early, and that's it. But I'm feeling good. I'm good. Just a little bit tired and worried that at 5 o'clock I'm gonna, start to go downhill and get worse. But
Crash.
I'm going to crash. So I've got some coffee prepared. And Mickey, what about you, Mr. T-shirt?
Yeah, I'm in a t-shirt today. I feel a little bit
Yeah, what's
slightly
going on?
underdressed.
I just realized.
Looking at you two in shirts, I thought it was Friday today. It was like casual Friday. Turns out it's not. It's Thursday. But yes, I am in a t-shirt and I'm feeling good. I'm happy. Sun is shining. The week has been very productive. So I can't complain.
Wonderful. So let's get to the point. Let's get straight into it. And in today's podcast, we're going to speak about conflict, arguments, and differences, in particular in the workplace. So, yeah, a tricky thing to speak about, but let's make it fun at the same time. And first of all, Mickey, have you ever had any kind of conflict or argument in the workplace? And if so, tell us about it.
Yeah, I've had quite a few conflicts at work, to be honest with you. I know. What a surprise. Really? Oh my God. I would never have thought that. No, yeah, I have. I've had a few conflicts. I've been working for a long time now, not because of my age, just because.
Yeah, because of child labor.
Child labor, yeah. Like my first job, I actually started working when I was like 15 and a half in a supermarket in England called Sainsbury's, if anybody knows that. You're legally allowed to manage money at that age in the UK. So I used to be a cashier. I used to be a till boy. I used to pass people's goods through, and I could do a maximum of 12 hours a week. So that was my first job, which I quite liked, actually. I quite enjoyed it, seeing all the old ladies come in during the week with their shopping. And sometimes they'd buy a bottle of gin and I would ask them for some ID and they would be like, oh, little boy, it was quite fun. It was quite entertaining. But conflict, sorry, I've deviated a little bit.
He's waffling on again.
I was like, what is he talking about?
I've done a wheel.
I've started to promote Sainsbury's.
I went off on a tangent. Yeah, I've had conflicts in the workplace, mostly because I tend to have a problem with authority and I don't like being told what to do, which is why, obviously, I started Teachify. Surprise, surprise. But conflicts, yeah, usually the conflicts have always stemmed from not understanding why I've been asked to do something. I don't mind doing anything. Like, I don't care if I'm cleaning a toilet, if I'm fixing a car, if I'm teaching a language course, provided that I know what the reason is I'm doing it for and what the outcome is and how it's going to better the situation. And in some jobs that I've had previously, I felt like it was a bit of a dictatorship. The manager was just barking orders, not really too much going on. And I'm not really one to stay quiet. So I would pull them up on it, whether it be the way that they spoke or try to get more information out of them. And this sometimes would cause a little bit of a disagreement or a heated argument. But I'm not going to go into details because I'm happy. I'm a happy man. It's 2024. I'm a new start.
You're in a good mood today. You don't need to go into it because it might get you down. If you start speaking about it, it might bring up some old memories, and we don't want that. Just wanted to highlight the verb that you used with orders. So usually in generic English, we say to give orders. If you have your manager and your manager is giving orders. But Mickey, you said rah, rah, to bark orders. Is there a difference in the meaning between give and bark orders?
Yeah, I would say so. I think to give orders, it's not necessarily negative, because you have to give orders. It depends on how you do it and how it's received, obviously, by the person. If you're barking orders, it's you're not giving the person any option. It's maybe a bit rude, a bit abrupt in the way that you do it. And it can make the other person who you're giving orders to feel a little bit uneasy.
No, I like it. Great. There are more and more reasons for you to go back into teaching with every podcast that we record.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let's go back to Will yesterday or last week. Couldn't even stop laughing. Like, couldn't
Well,
even.
I don't know what you're talking. Exactly. That's the reason for me to go out of teaching. Okay, and you to come back in. You know,
Yeah.
it's a cycle.
I've got a question for you, Will, because you deal more with the client side of things at Teachify. Do you think there's like cultural differences that impact conflicts between countries, for example, like England or Spain?
Obviously, with the clients, well, in terms of that side of things, in general, there aren't real conflicts. Maybe every now and then, but not big ones. I think sometimes it's sometimes difficult to maintain your calm when people you feel are maybe in the wrong, and vice versa. But I have noticed, like in Spain, my friends, etc., or people I know, they talk quite openly about how they have arguments with their bosses. And personally, I have never argued with a boss. Like maybe, I don't know, for example, we have disagreements, but not a proper argument, heated argument. And it seems to be quite normal here in Spain, but I don't know if it's a difference in England and Spain or just the people I'm with. But I personally have never had this, and I honestly couldn't imagine it, to have a proper argument with your boss.
Lewis, I can see you laughing there. What
What are you laughing at?
No, I'm just a happy guy, just like you. But I was just imagining the people that you hang around with. If you're always having a chat and they're speaking about how they're arguing with their bosses, like they must be pretty argumentative people. Because I think if you end up fighting with your boss and you have an argument with your boss, then it's kind of the beginning of the end. You know that you're going to end up leaving that company, whether you get sacked or you choose to quit. Because of course you can have disagreements, and that's a good thing, and it's beneficial for people to discuss how they feel and give their opinions. And then the idea is that you reach an agreement and maybe you reach a compromise, so both parties and both people are happy. But if you're like literally having a heated argument and you're kind of screaming and shouting, then the relationship probably isn't going to be fixed, and there's only one way that it's going to go.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I think the issue is not always, it's not like you can always be open with your managers, and like, there could be a difficult topic to bring up, but I feel like the objective is that the communication is clear and that you both understand the situation. Doesn't mean you have to reach an agreement, but the fact that you're both talking to each other about it is the starting point. But yeah, I think if you get to a point where you're actually shouting at each other, this is a big no-go. Like I've never been in that personally, like that situation, and I don't think I would like to be either. It would be horrible, actually.
In general, I'm very against conflict and arguments, and I'm a peaceful guy. I usually, and maybe this is not always a good thing, because I will deliberately try to avoid conflict at times, because I don't think it will take me anywhere. I don't think I will gain anything from having an argument with someone at work. I can express how I feel.
Conflict is constructive.
I usually don't think it is ever constructive. That's defining conflict as like fighting, arguments, etc. I don't think you're going to get anywhere by doing it. Communication, of course, is constructive, and giving feedback and constructive feedback and criticism, if you have someone who's willing to listen to it, then the only way is up, and you should learn from this experience. But if you're insulting someone and you're insulting what they do, then it's like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. That's what my mum and dad always used to tell me. If you have nothing
Lewis for president.
Don't say it. Just keep your mouth shut.
Not like Lewis, not like Will and myself then.
But related to that, another question, because I was thinking of the question, thinking that maybe one of you two would ask me, and I don't really know the answer. So let's brainstorm together. If we have two teachers, for example, or two workers who really don't get on, they really don't like each other, and it's causing a stir and a problem for the general vibe of the company, what can we do? What can a manager do in this situation?
This is difficult, but I think it's also made a little bit easier being online. This is actually one of the advantages of being online, is actually the team don't actually mix together, even though, well, our team do mix together quite a lot, which is something we encourage and we like. But you know, if you have to see each other in the office all the time, or maybe there's could be some personal issues that they've had outside of the office, which has been brought into the office, which could be awful. Yeah, I think dealing with it is quite difficult because it depends what it is as well, because if it's a personal thing between them, it's not work related. I don't think it's your place to really get involved unless it's having a negative impact on the services that you're offering to other people. But I think you're alluding to more the team balance, the team environment. Like, is it having a negative effect on the team as a whole?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I say isolate them, put them on an island, and cut communication. No, I'm joking.
Get rid and move on.
What do you think? I think it's difficult because there is that expression, isn't there? Like the bad apple that kind of crops the rest of the apples, or like what's the expression?
I was going to say something like a bad apple ruins the bunch. It's not the expression, but something like that, right?
I think that might be it, but I think we just shorten it to a bad apple. He's a bad apple. He's a bad apple. And by the way, we can do this with other expressions as well. One that comes to mind is all roads lead to Rome. But a lot of people would just say all roads.
That's true, yeah.
Another one that comes to mind is, what was it? It's just slipped my mind. But
I was going to say, I thought it came to mind and now it slipped.
No. Because I've spoken about this with students before and how we can kind of cut the expression in half and it still makes sense. But I've completely forgotten.
No problem. But I think going back to that topic, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because we also don't know what's going on in the personal lives of the people that you work with, and everybody can be having a difficult time. So it really depends on what the situation is. And also you don't want to be too intrusive because maybe it's not your place in a professional setting to actually ask what the problem is. But I guess you can always leave the door open if you notice that somebody is a little bit off, they're not their usual selves. And you could just, mention to them that, maybe we've noticed that, you don't seem your usual self at the moment. I'm not too sure what's going on in your personal life or in your working life, but if you wanted to come to us, then the door's always open. So you've at least left a road for communication. Go on, Lou Dog.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand for anyone listening to this, by the way, because it's just come to me. And not just one, but two. So you could say that is the last straw. That's the final straw. And the full idiom is that's the last straw that broke the camel's back. But you're going to hear the shortened version much more than the official long version. And another one is every cloud. Every cloud has a silver lining, meaning that from every negative scenario situation, you will always get something positive. So every cloud has a silver lining.
Nice. You're happy. That was annoying you, wasn't it? Like thinking about it.
It was really bugging me.
Just when you were saying the first one, I thought, every cloud has a silver lining. I'm going to write it. And then I wrote it down and then you say it. And I was like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, we can argue if you want.
No, that's okay. There was another thing in terms of conflict resolution. I know we listen to podcasts. I know Mickey and myself are like a specific podcaster, Theo Von, and he explained that when he was at school and would have an argument with someone or the students would fight, that the principal would put them together holding hands and leave them until they're friends. So I mean, this could be a good idea as well. If you have two people are fighting, you put them in a meeting together and say, okay, you can finish that meeting when you're friends.
That's quite interesting. I mean, my childhood was a bit different with my brother. We used to fight a lot, but we used to be put in the garden with boxing gloves, and we would have to fight it out. And
Allegedly, okay, because this might be called child abuse. So allegedly,
I feel I just call it strong education. But I actually quite enjoyed it. It was quite fun, and actually we're really close now. So maybe it did have its benefits back then.
Yeah. So we've clarified that Mickey had to work when he was underage, and he also had to beat up his brother or get beaten up by his brother when he was underage.
Yeah.
flirting with older ladies as well, I think was in there. I think.
Wow. Okay. Now, moving on slightly from the workplace and speaking more about arguments or fights in our personal lives. Will, you're laughing. Why are you laughing?
I like the way you just kind of transitioned into that and went directly to Will. Come on, Will, tell us.
No, I didn't ask you. Mickey, I was going to ask you, but Will is just laughing. He's cracking up. He's pissing himself. So, Will, please tell us what's going on in your mind.
This has become a recurring theme of just breaking down laughing. Yeah, I had a number of thoughts, and yeah, they made me laugh. Basically, yeah, conflict in my personal life. Yeah, yeah, it's difficult. I think it's important to really value the other person's feelings. Okay, listen, always listen, and never put down to make the other person feel like you don't care about the feelings. Everything is valid, and the idea to listen and to reach a common agreement and try to resolve it.
Yeah. Because in my case, I have an older sister, and we never really fought. We never really had arguments when we were growing up. And I think that might happen more when it's a brother and sister than if it is a brother and brother. As Mickey said, that him and his brother would do boxing in the garden until they would make up and they would forget what happened. Will, you also have a brother, two brothers, okay?
Yeah, I have two brothers. We used to argue when we were younger, but it was never never came to blows. So it never resulted in actual fighting. Maybe a little argument or something. But now we're all best friends. To be honest, my brothers have the best relationship with them. We never argue. I mean, maybe a slight disagreement, but honestly, I don't argue with my brothers at all now. I think we have a very good relationship, healthy, I think. So that side, healthy. Yeah, no problem there.
Awesome. All right, I think we should go over some idioms, some new idioms before we finish today's podcast. Of course, we've been using advanced phrasal verbs and idioms throughout this podcast. So if you don't really understand some things that we say, make sure you listen again, watch again. And if you have any questions, for example, on YouTube, you can ask us a question in the comments and we'd be happy to give you the best possible answer. But moving on from that, I have an idiom that I like. And it is on thin ice.
Ooh, nice one.
So to be on thin ice means that you are in a difficult situation, a risky situation, a precarious situation. Perhaps if you've been misbehaving or not doing your job very well, your boss could tell you, listen, you're on thin ice, okay? Be careful. You are walking the tightrope, we could also say.
Okay.
Lovely. So to be on thin ice is to be in a delicate, risky, or dangerous situation, usually with a superior.
I like it.
I'm going to go for one. I'm going to go for iron out differences. Now, this is quite a difficult word to pronounce because a lot of students, when I used to teach, found it very difficult to pronounce the word iron because they would say iron or iron with an R. So the R is quite silent in that. So we just say iron. So the expression is to iron out differences. And this is basically to talk out the differences and smooth things over, which is another one. They're similarly linked. So you can reach an agreement. So it's to iron out differences, to smooth things over. And this is a really good one. I personally like it because I love ironing, especially a shirt, although I'm not wearing one today. But there's just something pleasing about ironing, and you see the crease just go away. Anyway, that's my there's my 2 expressions for you.
And also, yeah, ironing, I agree with you, Mickey. It's nice. It's a relaxing thing to do. I feel that. I will go with...
It's a shame you didn't use one though this morning.
What you talking about?
This is a specific, it's a style, all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fashion choice and fashion forward. I'm going to go with to clear the air, okay? And to clear the air is, for example, if you have an argument with someone and there's tension and everybody says you can feel tension in the air, you can cut it with a knife, it's so thick in the air. So to clear the air is basically to resolve a disagreement or an argument, and kind of similar to smooth things over. It's not dissimilar to what Mickey was saying, to iron out differences. So to clear the air.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I hope you learn lots of new things in this podcast related to arguments, conflict, child labor, and traumatic experiences. So, of course, please recommend this podcast to your friends, to your workmates. Give this a like, subscribe to Learn English with Teachify on YouTube, and have a wonderful day. And don't forget to
Teachify
your life.
Oh, right. Yeah, Teachify your life.
Teachify your life. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.